Stan Gibilisco here. I'm going to explain a little trick that you can use to minimize the number of formulas that you have to memorize in order to understand the relation between, or the relation among, power, voltage, and current, and also resistance. You, of course, know Ohm's law by now. Formulas: voltage E equals current I times resistance R, and current I equals voltage E divided by resistance R, where voltage is expressed in volts, current in amperes, and resistance in ohms. Well, let's play around with these letters a little bit. You may know the Ohm's law triangle, which gives you the three formulas for Ohm's law. E equals I times R, I equals E over R, and R equals E over I. Again, E in volts, I in amperes, and R in ohms. And you probably also know that the power in watts, P, is equal to the voltage in volts times the current in amperes, which is symbolized by I. So, okay, here we have all these formulas, and you've probably memorized them. But there are other formulas for power, and you may have thought that you have to memorize these too. Well, I always used to hate that, especially in physics. It seemed like physics was nothing more than an exercise in how many formulas you could memorize, and then plug in the numbers was just a triviality. It was the real hard work was just memorizing the bloody formulas, and I just hated that. I don't know about you. Do you hate that? I hated it. Well, okay, now we got back to the pen. Well, you can make some substitutions here based on these two formulas for Ohm's law. Power equals voltage times current. Well, suppose that instead of voltage, we use current times resistance. Then power equals current times resistance times current, which equals current squared times resistance. P equals I squared times R. That's another formula for power that you may have thought you have to memorize. Now you know you can derive it from the others. Similarly, or along the same philosophical lines, power equals, let's instead of current substitute voltage divided by resistance. So power equals voltage times voltage divided by resistance, which equals E times E over R, or E squared over R. Another formula for power, which you thought you had to memorize, didn't you? Well, there's two less formulas you have to memorize. Now, in order to fully learn and understand the great world of electronics, as taught in our schools today, instead of having to memorize 64 million formulas, you only have to memorize 63,999,998 formulas. Well, what a relief it is. Stan Gibilisco signing off. Until next time, so long.